So sorry, but I'm not taking off my glass.
Lockett takes a shot, it's low! He's got it! I think he's got it!
Merlin, are you going to speak?
But for me, it was a winner. David.
Well, I'm afraid it wasn't for me, Margaret.
Thank God you're here. Grandma's been raped.
On.
Right, let's shake things up and just kick it off.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's fucking do it.
Welcome back to On the Air Tonight, the number one podcast and show that reviews free-to-air television. He's Tom.
That's Jake.
And we're here to liven up your life during the week, whether you're watching or listening to us. Welcome back.
Welcome back, guys. So good to be back another week here in Trademark Studios.
It is. We're both on our, I'd say, I don't know about you, but I'm on, I think, my fourth cup of Joe for the day.
Well,
and it's currently 9 o'clock at night.
It's a 9 o'clock coffee, which is way too late to be pouring yourself instant coffee from...
God, yeah.
From fucking the jug, but... I was trying to remember the brand of the coffee that we poured, but it's...
Moccona? Yeah, was it Nescafe?
Yeah, on the Moccona, or on the Moccona Blacks is what we're on. No milk. So we won't be sleeping till fucking 2 a.m. tonight.
No, we're going to have to cherish these while they last, because before long we'll be sipping our $20,000 barista machine coffees together, brother.
Absolutely. Did you want to tell the good people about your good news?
Yes, I've once again changed jobs. I've had this is going to be my third job in 6 months.
You're either the most employable or the least employable.
Yeah, deplorable at the end of the day.
Yeah,
deplorable employee.
Yes.
Yep. So you're listening to the newest employee at Southern Cross Austereo. Shout out to the biggest media agency on, I was about to say the planet, in Australia.
It's in Australia for sure. He's made it through the doors of Triple M and B105.
I have, and I'm here to stay, hopefully.
Well, you probably outlast commercial radio. So. Welcome to the sinking ship.
That's why we're starting this bad boy.
Digital audio is king.
Episode 31. How are you, mate?
31? How did we get here? What a road.
Yep. How did it end up like this?
I don't know, but 30 was a current affair. 31 is you guys are going to see what we've done.
Yep. Spoiler alert, you can already see the title, as we say every week. But
as we say every week. How have you been since the last time we recorded?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. We caught up for a non-OTAT networking or recording event last week.
Not even networking, more just bonding.
It was a wholesome evening.
I wouldn't call it... I would say the podcast wasn't even mentioned once.
No, I don't. It wasn't actually.
Holy shit!
Oh my god!
What else did we talk about?
I'm not just. I've got something else in my life other than a bloody podcast.
You wouldn't believe that we used to hang out pre-podcast and talk about anything other than the podcast.
Yeah, it's not just. I mean, most of the time when we're driving home, it is just pitch silence. If we're not, we're not just talking ideas about the pod. It's just
we can hang out and not talk shop. We got more in common than just this thing of ours.
Absolutely. So if you're listening to this the day of upload, Wednesday the 21st of July, 2021, a week ago we watched Queensland. The social event between Tom and I was just going over to Tom's house and sinking some beers and watching Queensland make sure that they didn't seal their fate of getting clean swept by the mighty Cockroaches.
Game 3 State of Origin. A necessary win for Queensland, for sure.
Oh, 100%.
I feel like every week we try our darndest to change this from a television podcast to a sports podcast.
It's slowly edging that way.
I'm pushing hard for it.
I mean, we did an Origin special last year.
Yeah, and we had Wimbledon last week.
We touched on Wimbledon for sure.
There's just been a lot of sport going on,
mate. It's the peak time.
It
of
really
sport.
is. I feel like it just feels like there's heaps of sport on between UFC, Wimbledon, Conor McGregor snapping his leg,
NBA Origin. Finals.
You've got to keep up with.
Olympics is just about to start. We've seen the USA basketball team shout out to the fucking Boomers beating the Boomers beating. This is going back probably a week and a half now, but beating the US national basketball team. Arguably the best young player on the planet right now is Slovenian.
Okay,
his name's Luka Doncic
from Slovenia.
Yep. He's from a small town called Ljubljana.
Jesus Christ. I mean, it doesn't roll off the tongue like a LeBron James, does it?
No, Luka Doncic from Ljubljana.
He won't be cast next to Bugs Bunny and
In Space
Peppa Pig.
Space Jam 3.
Space Jam: A New Legacy.
I think Space Jam is probably not going to do a third or a second sequel.
It sounds like it's fucking bombing.
Oh, mate.
Space Jam 2 is like not doing that well. So from what I've read,
It's a bad idea. Like,
yeah.
The original was Michael Jordan and the Looney Tunes take on a bunch of aliens from outer space that have stolen actual basketball players' powers. It's like, okay, kids movie, I get the gimmick. I think this new one has something to do with like LeBron James losing his followers, or Don Cheadle stealing his Instagram followers.
Yeah.
And he's got to go into like the cyber world to get them back.
Why is everything now like you have to go into the internet to like it's like everything is Wreck-It Ralph.
Yep.
Just fucking like real world.
Yeah.
like-
Getting plugged into the Matrix.
Yeah, everything is like, what if we had real thing go into digital thing that's popular? It's because it's a bunch of 60-year-olds sitting around going, what's popular these days?
100%. It reminds me of just like the teacher that you'd have in high school. They'd be like, I just know you bloody kids with your Game Boys and your Walkmans. It's like, I haven't fucking used a Game Boy since 1999.
I wouldn't be surprised if a Tamagotchi shows up in Space Jam.
Oh.
I'm sure they think that's still a relevant cultural reference.
There'll be something like that thrown, but I think
It'll be just shit shoehorned in, like, oh, look, there's an angry bird and there's a doodle. Don't jump over that doodle, jump. Doodles.
It won't be something like that. It'll be something more contemporary, but in 5 years' time, it'll age like milk. It'll be like, well, I'd swipe right on her.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh.
Yeah. That bird's talking. No, it's twittering.
Yeah.
Fucking kill
It's
me.
Tweety Bird. He's on Twitter.
Yeah.
Some bullshit like that.
I would put money that is a joke in there. They call her Twitter Bird instead of Tweety Bird.
100%. Yep. Oh. Yeah, we were talking about
Is Tweety Bird a Looney Tune?
Come on, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sylvester the Cat and everything. Yeah.
Grandma.
I worked at movie
Tweety
world.
Bird was in the original Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
I mean, Space Jam.
Yeah. I'm just getting things mixed up. So shout out to LeBron James bombing a sure thing, a slam dunk of a franchise.
Yes. Yeah.
It's on him.
His hair looks good at least.
He looks great.
Yeah.
So LeBron James fucking like not underrated. Everyone knows he's an entertainer, but like him and Trainwreck is I think like the funniest that I've seen him.
With Bill Hader and Amy Schumer.
Because he's opposite Bill Hader in the movie, who's like just again comedic genius.
Oh, and Amy Schumer, another comedic genius.
Yeah, well.
I was going to see if you bit on that. Just,
I said yes before I could say no.
Well,
the concept of LeBron James forgetting his wallet and being a tight ass. Remember that scene?
I haven't seen
Oh,
it.
you haven't seen Trainwreck?
No, I haven't seen Trainwreck.
Dude, funniest concept. Like Bill Hader and LeBron's playing himself.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Hader's like a sports physio, but
Okay.
for like an elite sports physio. So he's LeBron's physio.
Sure.
And they just go out for lunch and LeBron just always forgets his wallet. And he's like, can you get this, man?
That's good.
Bill Hader's like, you're LeBron James. I'm not getting lunch.
You're
paying.
You are literally worth $1 billion. Like you
Yeah.
signed $1 billion contract with Nike, man.
Yeah. Bill
Come on, man.
Yeah. You got to get this. It's a great bit.
All right, I'll have to watch it just for that
Trainwreck.
bit.
It's just like fast forward through the Amy Schumer scenes and go straight to Bill Hader.
What I do want to fast forward to before we get onto our content, we are going to be reviewing back-to-back Channel 9 shows after a current affair last week, but we do have to give a shout-out to our weekly reviewer. If you do like the show, please jump onto YouTube, leave us a comment on YouTube. It seems that Apple Podcasts has been lacking. We haven't been able to see any recent reviews, so leave some comments on the YouTube video, give us a like, subscribe to the video if you do enjoy it, just so we can read you out like we will with Smoked Paprika this evening.
Smoked Paprika, 5 stars again. Seems like it's taken ages to get around slagging off a current affair. Mm-hmm. We were surprised. Let's save the commentary for the end. Let's get through the reviews.
Yes.
Too easy a target, maybe? The fact that ACA's audience is dying out is heartwarming. Gives me hope for humanity. This week, the boys were equally good. Couldn't choose a favourite. Sorry.
Oh, you butter me up again. I almost sold my stock on Papcoin. But yeah, look, you know how to pander to my ego too well. Thank you, Smoked Pap.
And mine. And I'm in
Yeah,
Tom's blood.
Tom's inferiority complex stays asleep for another week.
I saw Papk on the weekend. We went to a Broncos game with my sister. Shout out Jordan. Shout out Josh, her partner. Broncos West Tigers played at Suncorp, and I said to Jordan, because she's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. She wasn't wearing a jersey, but her partner Josh is a Tigers fan.
He's a Westie, yeah.
He's a Westie. Disgusting. Still don't know how they're together, how we've allowed him into the
Atrocious,
family.
yeah. Love is love, man.
I guess so. I guess it's blind.
Like the Broncos offense.
Yes, yeah. So she's stuck between her allegiance to him as a West Tigers fan and us, her family, her blood as Broncos. And I said to her, where does your allegiance lie right now? And she was like, Tigers.
Oh, no, Jordan.
It's like, excuse me?
Jordan Vivian Farrelly.
Nope, but close enough.
If I don't know their middle name, Vivian's just the first one to reach
That's
for.
a good go too. And then I turned to Pap and I was like, Dad, did you just hear that? Hear where her allegiance lies? And he was like, yeah, well, what are you going to do about it? And he's also just like, leave me alone.
He's like, yeah, Tom, you're an only child. So
yeah. Well, I was like, is there a new favourite? You know, because he always jokes. This is me with the biggest bunny ears ever.
yeah.
Quotation
Big air
marks?
quotation
Big
marks.
air quotes. It's a running joke in our family that my sister is the favourite.
Yep. We're only intended to have one kid.
Yeah. You were deliberate, Tom.
You want a happy surprise.
You were intentional. But it's a running joke that she's the favourite. So I was like, Dad, Jordan just said her allegiance lies to the West Tigers of all clubs.
Come on.
Is there a new favourite? You know, am I the new favourite? And he was like, yes. I was like, great. And he's like, Jacob.
Yes. Come on.
I was like, get out of my life, Jacob.
Come on, Lance.
I'm not even recording a podcast today.
Get your pants off, Lance.
Trying to have a family outing.
And I'm just there, just infiltrating.
He's worked his way into my fucking personal life.
real garden gnome mischief mentality.
Yeah.
I'm gnoming you.
Yeah, absolute salacious crumbing me. Just get out of my perfect Sunday at the footy. And you probably made the Tigers win as well.
Your dad's on the phone the entire time. He's like, did you like that? I'm like, yeah, good.
He's got a live stream to you.
Yeah, he's FaceTiming
social
me.
events.
Very good. Very good, Lance. I'll be buying more stock this week.
Yeah, I mean, meet the guy first, and then I'll believe that there's a real bond there.
No, I really feel there's just this symbiotic connection already made. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like the show we watch. You know, you don't have to meet someone physically to have a real connection to them.
No, you don't.
How's that for a
Just like-
bloody segue?
Yeah, that's a huge one. Just like the show we watch, one of us has been to prison before as well. Either dad or Jake.
It's,
You have to guess which one.
It's definitely the one with the mullet. So this week we watched as I mentioned, another Channel 9 show, Love After Lockdown. You can check out, I think there's 5 seasons available on 9 now. We watched season 3, episode 15.
Nice. You got that in the barrel. I like that. Was there a name of the episode, or it's just season 3,
I
episode
think it's
15?
just season 3, episode 15. Really interesting watch. A new spin on reality television.
Yeah.
So, Love After Lockdown is. I don't think that's correct. Sorry.
I reckon I can just fucking.
Yeah, give us your synopsis, Thomas.
Well, the name says a lot of it. Love After Lockdown. Sorry, you've actually quoted it wrong. It's Love After Lockup.
Love After Lockup. Yep.
Because we got lockdown on the brain because the whole fucking country's in lockdown.
You're
except for
absolutely right.
Queensland.
Yeah.
Love After Lockup. So basically, ex-cons dating people. Someone gets out
Civilians.
of prison and then they have to go and re-assimilate into society and find a partner.
Yeah, they get to jump off the building that is penitentiary system and fall into the safety net of someone with funds and a big heart and oftentimes a lot of love to give because no one loves them on the outside.
Yeah, so it's
To be harsh, really harsh.
well, I mean, you pretty much nailed it on the head. It's you when you think of the show, when you hear that concept, you immediately are like, ooh, that must be kind of fucked up dating someone who's in prison, who has been to prison. What is that prisoner like? But really, what the show delves into and what's kind of more fucked up is what are the people like on the outside who want to date an ex-con.
Yeah.
Nothing against ex-cons, rehabilitate into society. Everyone makes their mistakes. But yeah, often in this show, the people on the outside came off worse than the people on...
They're the characters
inside.
to watch out for because it's, I mean, you can have your own preconceived or preconceptions about what a convict is and the type of person who, might end up in prison. lot of presumptuous opinions you might make. But the real interesting cats are the people who decide, nah, there's no one in society that I really like. I'm going to make a pen pal out of someone I've never met before on the inside, fall in love with them, and then make a life so when they come out, we can get married and go down this turmoil. And then to take it a step further, go on a reality TV show based around it.
Yeah. It's really like going against it's the antithesis of the old adage. Is it adage? I think that's the word, right?
Sure.
Adage, yeah, the old adage.
The adage?
The old adage of there's plenty more fish in the sea.
Mm-hmm.
These people on the outside have gone, there are no more fish in the sea out here. I've gone through all of them.
I've got to go look in the fish tank.
There's no good ones left. I have to go look in, the lobster tank out there. See which one's...
It's the local Chinese restaurant.
Yeah, which one's been picked out of fresh meat.
Which one can I take its rubber bands off and won't snip me nose off?
And then, chuck it in boiling water and hear it scream, which I guess is a metaphor for marriage. I don't know.
Yes, yeah. That is tight as it gets, Thomas.
That is tight.
Well done.
So Dad's always said, marriage is like boiling in a pot, but there's a lobster. I was like, all right, smoke paprika. All right. It's enough pap for you
all right,
tonight.
Bug.
It's all right,
all right, sea bug. Yuck.
Shout out to Max Piper for suggesting this show. He put us onto this.
Fan of the pod.
Mm-hmm. It's actually I didn't realize going into it, it's not an anthology series. And I always get the definition of anthology mixed up. But this is a show that is not episodic. This is a show that...
It's chronological.
It's chronological. Mm-hmm. Is anthology a one-off? It's a Black Mirror.
Anthology is correct. Black Mirror is a perfect example.
For those playing at home, Black Mirror.
Don't know.
Anthology.
Yeah.
You know what Black Mirror is.
Yeah, if you've watched something other than free-to-air television.
I feel like I'm educating people at home who are already smarter than me and know the answer to this.
Yeah, I've seen Black Mirror. I'm smarter than you, dude.
So if you don't know what anthology is, let me tell you. I just found out 3 seconds ago.
And you also just as soon as you start explaining, like, I actually don't know what it is. I've been wrong on it multiple times.
But I've nailed it this time. This is not an anthology show. This is a running narrative of we follow characters through the whole season.
You've made a real adage out of that, mate.
It's pronounced adage.
Oh, right. Adequate.
It's pronounced adage. So you come into episode,
15 of season 3.
15 of season 3, and it's clear that the show's been following these people for a while.
Correct.
So you've got a bit of catching up to do, but it's not impossible to figure out what's going on.
For sure. And look, if you do want to catch up, it's not hours wasted. This is definitely a good show to watch out on a hungover Sunday.
But I think the show as a concept could definitely benefit from having less different plot lines in each episode. Because it's a 45-minute show with ads. There's 6 different plot lines, and really we see maybe 5 to 6 minutes of each one.
Correct, yeah.
So you don't see a whole lot of journey.
Yeah. There's no arc in one episode.
No, it's kind of let's talk through the first one. It's pretty interesting.
So the first scene that we see is this is the first thing they had wasn't a couple. It was actually a love triangle of Lacey, John and Shane. So John and Shane are both ex-cons. John was in for possession of firearms. Shane in for malicious wounding, whatever that may be.
Sounds like manslaughter.
Nah, I think it's I'd go more inclined that it's aggravated assault,
malicious
wounding,
malicious or malicious,
malicious.
Malicious, not maleficent.
All brand is delicious wounding.
Okay.
Yeah. So Lacey and Shane are in a budding relationship, but Lacey's also been seeing John or been pen pals with John, probably done some conjugal visits. You have to kind of fill in a lot of the gaps when you're coming in 14 episodes into a season already.
We don't really know how any of them met, but we assume that it's pen palery.
Yeah.
Or they knew each other briefly before one of them went to prison.
Yeah.
Or they met in prison, but I don't think that was the case with any of them because I think there's only one inmate.
I think Lacey, her only crime against humanity was the big lip fillers, fake tits and fake bum. But at the same time, no slut shaming here.
I love how her headshot, because they put up the headshots of the prisoners with their rap sheets and then the person on the outside as well, which was Lacey.
Yep.
And her thing is just a glowing photo of her photoshopped, bit of a catfish.
Fully photogenic.
Yeah, and then it just says model.
Really?
Yeah.
Model of what?
Model citizen, maybe.
Clearly, she's not a con.
No, exactly.
So she's currently playing a love triangle between John and Shane, and it just opens up like Shane and I think Lacey goes to tell John, who's just gotten out of the can, that her and Shane are starting a loving life together. And John's just standing there with like his plastic bag of all his possessions in the world, and they just start teeing off like, "Fuck you!" Like, this guy's a chump. I love you more. Blah, blah. And she's like, "I don't want you in my life anymore, John.
Yeah.
I'm done with you, John. It's mine and Shane's life." He's like, "Oh, that's right." Shane and Lacey just start making out like for the camera, like, and it's just the most cringe. It's like, oh,
yeah. Well, like she drove there with John.
Yeah.
She drove to the car park.
Shane. With
Shane, sorry. So, yeah. She drove there with Shane to meet John.
Correct.
Who just got out of the slammer. And then, like, they're in the car ride, they're together. And then he doesn't really know what he's getting into. And then she meets John.
Meets John, correct. And then like they have like a little like graphic pop-up. It's like 1 hour after being released.
Yeah. So he just gets out. And then all of a sudden she's like, I've changed my tune and I am not with you anymore. I know I was 30 minutes ago, but now I'm making out with this guy in the car park. So do with that what you will.
I think she was with Shane coming into the situation. She was coming to tell John, I don't love you anymore. Like, I love you, but I'm not in love with you.
Yeah, she did say that. She used that classic line.
That real, like, stupid cliche.
Yeah.
I love you, but I'm not in love with you. What does that even mean?
What does that mean? What does that mean?
That's the most piss weak. I want to break up with you, but...
If I ever, like... I've never been on the receiving end of that. If I ever copped that, I'd be like... Give me a real reason.
It's honestly just...
It means nothing.
If it happens to me, it's just getting a yuck.
Oh, yuck.
Yuck, dude.
Didn't realize Nicholas Sparks was writing a breakup. Fucking hell.
It was this fucking Ed Sheeran song, is it?
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't realize we're in a rom-com. Or in this case, a bad reality TV show.
Locked out of heaven. Locked into this bullshit, it sounds like.
For 45 minutes.
And then so Shane and Lacey start making out, doing like literally just lip smacking for the cameras. And like John's just like walking around them, just like giggling that, like, what the fuck? And then he gets a glimpse of like Shane's face. He's like, oh, look at this guy's teeth. Yeah. You want to date this guy? Look at this. He's a chump. He's got shit teeth.
He just grabs onto anything that he can. Like, Shane's a pretty normal looking guy, really. Like, he's got that
mean mug, shit tats.
Yeah, but it's like nothing that Shane doesn't have either.
Oh, the chin strap beard.
Yeah.
Like the eyebrow piercing.
So he grabs onto whatever he can. He's like, this fucking chump, he's got bad teeth.
They kind of actually look a lot alike.
Yeah. Yeah, they
She clearly has Lacey has a type.
Yes. Lacey has a very specific type. And he just goes, this guy's got shit teeth. And then Lacey kicks off at him for talking shit about
clocks him.
A new man. Yeah, clocks him in the head. And then he's like, you can see him think about it for a second. He's about to hit her back.
Yeah.
And then he's like, there's cameras on.
Yeah, I just got out. I'm not going to go straight back in just for this chump.
And Lacey knows that as well. She's exploiting the fact.
Fully in his face.
Yeah, she's like antagonist.
Do it.
Punching him, yeah.
You can't hit a girl.
Steals his phone, antagonized. What the fuck are you gonna do? You're on probation, bitch.
Steals his phone and he's just like, just give me my phone back. I actually want to get out of here.
Yeah, he's like, I would walk away right now, but I just need my phone back. And she's like, come on, motherfucker.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's the most ratchet shit.
It is very ratchet. Yeah.
And then she eventually, and then as she gives him his phone back and she kind of gets in the car to walk away, he just starts teeing off. Is it Shane?
Shane is the boyfriend.
The one who she's going with.
Yeah.
So sorry, John starts teeing off at Shane and he starts going like, this fucking piece of shit.
This guy's a bitch.
Yeah, this guy's a bitch. Like really giving it to him and using words that we can't even say on OTAT. So fuck, imagine.
You can imagine, yeah.
Yeah, use your imagination.
Yeah, wild ones if you're listening to us.
Starts with an F. Used to mean a bundle of sticks.
Very good. Very good.
Dance around that one.
That was quite the tango.
Yeah. He's throwing those at him and fucking John. Have I got it right?
Shane is in the car.
Shane is in the car.
They're exactly the same dude. They're just carbon copies.
I'm going to call it the winner and the loser. The winner's the guy that goes with
shit
it.
teeth and fresh con.
So the winner, shit teeth winner, is just standing there like, I've never copped this much shit from anyone before and not just punched him in the head.
Yep.
And he's doing his damnedest to not break probation.
Dude, credit to him.
Yeah, he was like, oh, mother. And he's like, can you just unlock the fucking car, please? Because I'm about to knock this guy out.
Yep.
And he does his best. He just gets in the car and they drive away.
They just drive off into their new life. And then, so that's at the very start. And then the end of the episode, they kind of tie a neat little bow. It's actually the outro of the show is them on the couch talking. And she's like, Shane, I now know more than ever that I love you and I want to spend the rest of my life with you. I love you so much. And then like he's like, I love you too, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, can I get my ring back?
Yeah.
So I don't know, like again, we're picking up pieces that we don't really know where they fell, but clearly there was
I'm gonna
some
assume
point
he confiscated her ring for some because she was with another guy.
Yeah,
I think.
finoogling with another dude. Yeah.
I think he gave her a ring at some point. What's her name?
Lacey
found another guy while he was in prison, and then he was like, I'm gonna take that fucking ring back if you're wearing it while you're getting railed by another dude.
Yeah, 100%. This is like I'm taking the warranty back.
Yeah, which is, I'm not mad at it. Like, that's only fair.
No, Shane actually seems like the most well-headed or level-headed person in the entire episode.
And then, yeah, she was like, oh, can I get that ring back, Shane? And he's like, oh, you want it back? I'm so glad you mentioned it. I've actually got it on my person.
At all times.
In my pocket right now. I just had it. She's like, how'd you get that in and out of prison? He's like, you don't want to know where it's been.
Sweetheart, make sure you give that a good sterilizing before you put it on your finger.
You went through 8 strip searches before and after prison. Huh? Don't you worry.
Don't worry about it.
That's more where that came from.
And then at the very end, they just drop the bomb where he's just like, she's like, the baby's definitely yours, Shane. And it's like, what? They've got a kid.
There's a baby.
There's a kid
in
involved?
the mix. And she's like, yeah, she goes, the only thing I'm worried about is if we get the paternity test and John comes back as the father. Mm-hmm. It's like, all right, so we've got a Jerry Springer episode.
100%. Yep. You are not the father.
Yeah. Jerry. bring back those days.
So that was definitely a good way to kick it off. Me and Tom were just like, beaming, and it definitely wasn't the coffee at that point. It was just like, oh my goodness.
I literally felt my face, and I kind of get this sensation after a lot of these shows that we watch. I don't know if
jaw drop,
not jaw drop. My face literally hurts afterwards from A, cringing, and B, raising my eyebrows so fucking high.
Yeah, just the blonde guy gif of him just like looking taken aback, like, oh.
I spent 45 minutes straight just doing these ones to you. And eventually I'm like, oh.
It's a sign of a
face muscles kind of hurt.
This is why we play, Thomas.
Yeah.
for moments where like we're gonna need Botox because we're 27 and we've just got like these permanent crease lines on our forehead.
Fucking Ramsey forehead trenches going on. I'm just watching too much. Just fucking free-to-air television raising too many eyebrows.
Some real Mariana's trenches in between her eyebrows.
Yeah. And now you're not going to stop looking at them.
Oh God!
I can't raise one at a time like you can. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, do a little eyebrow dance.
Yeah, right.
I won't. Someone's been taking too many lacy plastic surgery injections. Yes. So we started on that, and then we moved on to Love Triangle 2, which don't really think this needs too much time, but we'll go into it anyway. Oh no, actually, sorry. This Love Triangle's great. It's Angela, 47, is pen pals with Tony on the inside, 34, who's in for possession of firearms. And the third point of this fucked up isosceles triangle is Tommy. So it's Tony, the con, Angela, the chain smoker, baby, cash mama, and Tommy, who is just like a weird guy. He dresses exactly like Charlie Sheen, but he looks like Charlie Sheen's brother in 2.5 Men.
Yeah, the worst get-up you've ever seen.
Yep. Long bowling shirt, like cream pants, and then these like they're not quite loafers, they're like slippers, but loafers like...
I was going to say loafers.
Yeah.
But they're like those leather loafers with like the little... You know those old man shoes with like the little... It's almost a brown tic-tac on top?
They're like boat shoes.
Yeah, like that little... almost looks like straw has been sewn up and tied into it.
Yeah, it's meant to look like a lace, but it's just there for aesthetics.
Yes, it doesn't actually functionally lace anything up.
Correct.
Those shoes.
Yeah, but it's all suede, so they just look like slippers.
He looks like shit.
Yeah.
He looks like absolute like washed up Charlie Sheen.
With like a beta William H. Macy.
Yeah, he looks like William H. Macy's character from Wild Hogs. Was sad in his life because he wasn't getting any female attention. And then he watched Charlie Sheen in 2.5 Men, and he was like, that guy fucks. I'm going to dress like him.
Men.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to be a men.
And then he went out and bought his wardrobe but didn't iron it or like spend any real money on it.
Yeah. So
That's Tony.
that's Tommy.
That's Tommy.
That's Tommy. So to give you like a dynamic or a power dynamic of it is Angela has been riding Tony, who's in prison, 13 years younger than her. She's 47, but she looks 60 just because she's been chain smoking her whole life.
She 47?
47.
She looked 65.
Correct.
Jesus Christ.
And
don't smoke, kids.
And Tommy, I think, was about 55, 60 because he looked like a man like in his 2/3 of the way through his life.
Yeah.
And just like soy.
So soy.
So soy.
Such a... I don't like to use the word cuck
But
on the
definitely.
podcast.
It's part of my vocabulary every day at work. But
I don't like to admit that I love using the word cuck.
But this guy is a soy boy beta cuck.
This man is exactly that.
Yeah.
He's hitched his cart to a 47-year-old looking 50,
looking 60,
looking
47 going on 70.
yes, year-old woman who doesn't love him at all.
No.
Doesn't like him, doesn't pay him any attention.
They're best friends.
Best friends. He's friend-zoned, like admits that he's been friend-zoned.
Admits that he loves her.
Admits that he loves her, was with her the whole time she was going through this romance with Tony in prison.
Correct.
He stuck by her the whole time to the point where they go to meet Tony when he gets
Pick
out
him up
on his
at a
first
lockup.
day.
Yep.
Tommy goes with him, goes with, what's her name?
Angela.
Goes with Angela to be there and make sure everything's okay. Make sure that this Tommy guy's not a fucking psycho.
He drives his car. She's riding passenger.
Yeah.
And they start talking about like, hey, Angela's like, hey, don't bring up the time that you actually proposed to me. Yeah. Ooh! And Tommy's just like, okay, Angela.
Oh, don't bring up the time you proposed to me. And then they're waiting to see this guy come out.
Yeah.
His name's Tommy in the prison.
Tony's in the prison.
His name's Tony in the prison.
Tommy's William H. Lacey, I was going to say.
William H. Lacey. William H. fucking lace curtain.
Wilting in the wind, Macy.
So they're waiting for Tony to get out of prison.
Dude, these guys need more distinct names. This is so... Shane and John.
I'm going to call them Prison and Cuck.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so Cuck's waiting with... What's her name? Angela. Cuck's waiting with Angela
Dart
for
face.
Prison to get out of prison.
Yeah.
And while they're waiting for him to come out, Cuck has one last ditch attempt to sweep Angela off her feet.
Desperate.
He goes, I've got $600,000 in my bank account. Let's fly to Jamaica right now and start a new life.
Oh, Tommy. Sorry, Cock. What are you? Cock. It's the wrath of Cock.
And she just looks at him and goes, I'm going to wait for prison.
Yeah, I'm going to wait for the thick boy.
Yeah. She's like, I've come this far, and he gets out in 30 seconds. But she thinks about it. She's like, oh, you're $600,000.
Not bad.
And then, ironically, they go to lunch afterwards, and Cuck spends the whole lunch grilling Prison about him just trying to drown money out of him trying to hustle Angela.
Yep.
He's like concerned about about Prison exploiting Angela.
Just asking questions about like, so who else are you like riding on the inside? Because Prison often talks about, he's like, I was riding to like 8 to 10 girls, but as soon as I knew it was love with Angela, I stopped riding to them. He's like, okay. He's like, but didn't you intend to meet someone else when you came out of prison? And he's like, I don't want to talk about that right now.
Yeah. Dude, no. Before they get to lunch, the best shot in the whole fucking show.
Yes. Yep.
The best shot in the whole fucking show is so it's Cuck's car that they drove there with, that they drove there in. On the way out after Prison's been released from prison, Angela gets in the front seat, Prison gets in the front passenger seat, and Cuck gets in the Cuck seat.
In the back seat, the middle of the back seat. Yeah. The cockpit. Yes.
He gets in the cockpit in the back, which is, you know what the cockpit is? It's the middle seat behind mum and dad in the front. He's sitting there in his baggy Charlie Sheen beige pants in the lowest, like, least flattering cuck angle I've ever
Real
seen.
low angle, yeah.
Real low angle. And he's just sitting there, like, with his big fucking knobbly knees, just like a 2-year-old.
Yeah, knocking them together, like...
It's just so, like, thin legs.
You know, if you're going on a road trip with your mates, sorry to cut off that story.
Please.
Side tangent, but you know, if you're going on a road trip or if you're carpooling with anyone, usually it's the smallest person who'll get into the middle. But if it's everyone's equal size or stature,
you fight for it. Or you shoddy not bitch.
Well, it's the bottom of the hierarchy who'll
Yes.
get the middle seat.
Remember shoddy not bitch?
Yeah.
It's like shotgun gets front seat and then shoddy not bitch. Whoever is the last to say that gets the cockpit.
Correct.
So he's in the cockpit because he didn't shoddy not bitch. Cuck's in the cockpit because he didn't shoddy not bitch. And Prison's in the front just looking swole, smoking a cigarette.
Thick boy, yeah.
Thick boy as Angela smokes her 30th one in
that car ride.
that hour.
Yep.
And he's just sitting in the middle going, meh. And he goes, his first words that Cuck said to Prison is, so have you ever killed a guy?
Just straight away, just trying to throw fuel on the fire as quickly as possible.
And Prison just sits there and he's like, Cuck, I don't really want to talk about that right now.
Yeah, that's a little bit of an inappropriate question. So Prison was in prison for possession of firearms.
Yeah. So maybe there's no murder. We don't know.
Maybe
Cuck's jumping to a...
I mean, usually if you don't murder someone and then someone asks you that question, like, Tom, have you ever murdered someone?
I don't want to talk about that.
All right, well, clearly you've murdered someone
Yeah.
then. Yeah. But if you were...
That's what a murderer would say, you know?
If you're an upstanding citizen and you hadn't, like, ask me.
If you ever
No!
Yeah.
No!
You're innocent, I can tell. I can tell you're a good guy.
Get the mallet out.
Get the mallet out.
The gavel.
He's innocent. All charges are dropped.
He interrupted me with a very nervous no, Your Honor.
He's innocent. He really doesn't want to go to prison. I can tell he hasn't killed anyone by how much he doesn't want to go to the schlammer.
Your Honor, please look at this man's outfit. Tell me, could he murder someone? He's in a Charlie Sheen outfit with slippers on.
That guy hasn't been near a human in his life. He couldn't have sex with one, let alone kill one.
No, I think we've said it so many times
You
already.
still need intimacy to kill people, you know.
Cuck is definitely the epitome of this guy. But to drive your car with a woman that you're in love with has turned down you in proposal, and they gave a lot of backstory to this relationship as far as you know, when Tony was out of prison at one point, Angela went searching for him one night, and Cuck was with Angela searching for Prisoner.
Yeah.
The whole night. When he was in prison, Cuck proposed to her, and then on the day that Prisoner gets released from the big house, Cuck drives his car with Angela riding passenger. They get there. They see Prisoner come out of prison with his 2 garbage bags.
Yeah.
No hyperbole, 2 garbage bags of his life possessions.
Just black garbage bags.
Big black
It looks
bin
like
bags.
he's taken out the prison garbage bins.
Big bin liners, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like he's in sanitation.
Which, I mean, I guess that's what they give you when you leave prison.
I
Big
guess.
garbage bags.
Yeah, possibly.
I mean, or sometimes maybe family will drop off something a bit nicer or a suitcase.
What are you going into prison for where you need 2 large garbage bags for, like...
Yeah, what was he taking out?
What-
Are they all clothes?
Was he wearing 17 layers of ski gear when he got to prison, or...
I want to know what's in those garbage. It's just limbs. It's like, I got away with it.
These are my trophies from my time in the joint.
These are my scalps. Collected 100 Nazi scalps.
They were full. So Cuck drives Smoker, Smoke Lady.
Call her Smoke. Let's call her Smoke
Big,
Show.
we'll call her Big Smoke.
Yeah, Big Smoke. Yeah.
Cuck drives Big Smoke in his car to go pick up Prisoner. Prisoner meets Big Smoke. They smooch, and then Big Smoke and Big Smoke and Prisoner get in the front seat of Cuck's car while Cuck has to ride in the dicky seat in the back.
Yeah.
Sucking on his thumb and going, "So Prisoner, you ever killed anyone?"
As Big Dick Prisoner and Big Smoke Show Smoke Bomb Smoker. Smoking darts like fucking kings and queens out the front, sucking on lung lollies, and he's sucking on his fucking
On his foreskin. Just crying. His tears are as lube. Just, the love of my life.
I offered her 600 grand just to go to Jamaica with me.
And she was like, nah.
And it turns out Cuck is a counselor.
Yeah, he's
or a
a
psychologist.
What does he say? Professional relationship counselor or no, professional counselor, I think.
Professional counselor. So
you've never had an interaction with anyone in your life and you're a counselor,
no,
dude.
Like just the way this guy puts everything into a woman that has nothing to offer. But she, Smoker, what do we call her? Smoke show?
Big Smoke.
Big Smoke. Big Smoke wants Cuck in prisoner and her's life.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to, she's not like the other girl who's just like, Cuck, can you fuck off? I'm with prisoner now. She's like, Cuck, you proposed to me. I said no, but I still want you to just kind of hang around and be there, probably because you give me money, but you're a really good friend to me and I want you to be friends with prisoner.
Yeah.
And Cuck and prisoner are like, I don't think this is going to be a relationship
This is
that
a
works.
weird dynamic.
Yeah.
What's worse when you compare the two love triangles? Like, leave gender out of it, but the two triangles, person A that's in love with person 1 and 2, and then plays person 1 and 2 off each other by saying, I love him, I love them, don't love you anymore, so they have to fight. Or the second situation where person A has person Cuck and person prisoner, and going, no, I want you both in my life, but you can do all like the husband things of drive me around, paying for my fucking smokes. The other guy can just blow this back out.
Yeah, I think the second scenario is worse.
Is worse. I mean, they're both pretty bad.
They're both bad, but to have your cake and eat it too and go, I'm going to take the best qualities of this person and the best qualities of this person, which is basically, I'm attracted to you because you're 10 years my junior and still have a head of hair.
Love big muscles, I think she even mentions.
Yeah, and he's just, I mean, always kind of flushed and red faced, which is a bit weird as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed that about him, but then you've also got
steroids do a weird thing to a body.
Yeah, but then also you want the stability and the, you want to be spooned, maybe cuddled at night.
He's not. Cuck's not touching her.
You're right, he's not touching her. You want the money of a Bill Macy and the accounting brain of a Charlie Sheen.
He might get to sniff her bike seat after she's ridden down to 7-Eleven for a carton of smokes, but doesn't get to touch her.
No. So, I mean, Smoke Show is getting the best of both worlds here. I mean, all power to her. Somehow this woman has 2 guys pining after her, and she must feel like the belle of the ball.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
She's getting so much attention. It's crazy. It really does come down to like, I think it comes down to these regional parts of America where there is fucking no one.
The Midwest.
The talent pool is fucking dry.
Well, dude, if the talent pool you're reaching into is shark-infested waters, a prison, there's something going on there.
But like, yes, but then that's very true. And then also the fact that you've got 2 guys going after 1 fish. Obviously, there's not that many fucking fish in the sea. Because, like, really, Tommy and Tony, Cuck and prisoner, we're fighting over this one girl. We're fighting over Smoke Show. Like, there's not anyone else out there.
Yeah, I suppose the difference between the two is that Cuck, as much as we can, he can be the butt of all of our jokes, which he has been. Thank you so much for that, Cuck. But at least his like intentions seem pure in the way that he actually likes Big Smoke.
Yeah, he actually liked Big Smoke and
he loves her.
He loves her. And like, he's the nerd of the story, so he finishes last, unfortunately. He's the nice guy. But he cares so much about her that he goes to lunch with the 3 of them afterwards and vets prisoner.
Correct.
And it's like, what are your intentions with this woman who I know is never going to be with me? But I still want the best for her.
And Big Smoke knows that. She's like, Cuck is my best friend. I need to have him in my life.
Yeah.
So compare that to prisoner. Yeah, he's got the muscles. Yeah, he's got the full head of hair. But it's like, you're into Big Smoke because of her big cash.
Yes.
It's the only reason he's there is just like, and he says it like 3 or 4 times, which is what made it suspicious, where he's like, if anyone ever asks me why I'm with Big Smoke, all I tell them is that I love her and I want to get married and spend the rest of my life with her. And it's like the fact that you keep saying that, like, the whole marriage thing comes up multiple times throughout all of these couples, because it's like for these ex-cons, I imagine the idea of getting married is more of a financial stability and security thing than it is actually matrimony and finding a soulmate.
Yeah. Oh, they're hitching their horse to a good wagon once they get out.
100%.
They're looking at like your options as an ex-con, I can imagine, are so fucking limited in terms of employment, getting a loan. We were talking about it with Dan earlier. Fucking all of these things that become impossible for you after you get out of prison.
Yeah.
One of your best bets is marrying rich.
Yeah.
Not even rich, just someone who's there to look after
Someone
you.
stable.
So they're all like hedging their bets in prison and like he was talking to 8 to 12 different women at once in prison. He's just found the richest one out of them is going to look after him.
Yeah,
best.
he's cast a dozen lines and one's biting hard. And he's like, I found myself the Big Smoke Billy Bass.
And Smoke Show knows that. She has
Big
to know
Smoke.
that.
Let's not call her Smoke Show.
Sorry,
okay.
Big Smoke. I know.
Yeah.
I can tell you're struggling with that.
Let's not mince our words here. She might smell like smoke. She might sound like smoke, but she is not smoke.
You don't want the term Smoke Show to be marred. Next time you see an actual Smoke Show, you don't want to be thinking of Big Smoke.
Yeah, you've already fuck you because
I've
you've already
already
ruined it. Because anytime I'm like, that is a smoke show, I'm gonna be like, oh,
Yeah.
just someone going, come here, sweetheart.
Yeah. Oh, the voice on her.
Real raspy.
To my point before of the talent pool being very dry. Quick tangent. I was out in Chinchilla on the weekend.
Yes.
Not
Yeah.
to get completely off.
Very rude of me before as well in the episode. You asked me how I was going, didn't reciprocate.
Well, it says a lot about your character.
It does, yeah.
Remember that, Paprika?
This is why I'm the favorite.
This is why he shouldn't be.
I'm just a winner.
Just weighing up our characters.
I look ahead. I don't look in the past, you fucking mulleted loser.
This is why I'm finishing last. Nice guy.
Go back to your 4chan cave.
It was funny out in Chinchilla, tiny regional town. I don't know what the population is. Probably like maybe 1,000.
Yeah, okay.
Couple
Wow,
thousand.
that's small.
It's tiny. Could be wrong. Look it up. Do your own research.
Yep.
Don't actually look it up. It's
well,
about 1,000.
You don't want to be proven wrong.
No.
Smaller than Brisbane anyway.
Tiny town. Obviously, what happens in small towns is talent pool dries up. There's not as many good-looking people. Or just the gene pool is lower.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say without...
The talent depth isn't as deep as it is in a major city.
Correct.
You're going from 3 million people down to like 4 to 5 digits.
Correct. And that doesn't say anything about anything other than mathematics. It's pure mathematics.
Your selections just dry up. You're limited.
So because of pure math, that was the case out in Chinchilla, and it was hilarious watching. We went out to see a musical. Long story. Georgia Brennan directed a musical. Shout out Matilda for all the fans. High School Musical. We went to the one club in Chinchilla afterwards.
The one club.
There's two.
They actually have a club in
It's
Chinchilla.
called the club, but it's just the club hotel. It's not a club.
It's called the club.
It's a pub.
Yeah.
It's a country pub. And we walked in on a Saturday night and it was like
Peak
you
night.
could spot the locals from a mile away, and walked in with good mates, Brooklyn and Candice, who are a couple of good looking roosters. And it was like walking into a fucking old saloon in a Western where everyone stops and the music turns off and it's like, hey? Yeah, it's like, whoa, you guys are in for a big night.
They were probably getting courted the entire time, I'm guessing.
You could say that, yeah. Yeah, there was some, the Burleigh Bears were out there. I don't think I've told you that.
Oh, okay.
But the Gold Coast football team, Burleigh Bears, happened to be out in Chinchilla.
What are they doing in the Chilbo?
I don't know, but they got to win that day. I made sure to find that out.
Hell yeah.
Have no idea how they ended up in Chinchilla. But it just proves my point that these things happen when you shrink the population down and go into the middle of fucking nowhere and get away from big cities.
That's where the tangent of the story came
That's
by.
how I'm going to loop that around.
Yes, you're
loosely connected.
No, I can see where you're coming from. I actually, I don't know if I should bring up the story about when you got fucking touted for talent when you went out to, was it Dolby you went to?
Dolby Races.
This man went out to Dolby Races, and when you kissed on the mouth by a bloke, or some bloke just came up, he just some stranger just came up to you and grabbed you by the face and went, "You're the most beautiful man I've ever seen."
Yeah, literally. This is Dolby, which is again like maybe an hour from Chinchilla.
Yeah.
So same deal. and we're at the races that day. Yeah, a local just grabbed me by the head and went, "You're the most handsome man I've ever seen." And like, it wasn't 2 minutes after another guy did a double take at me and was like, "Oh my God, you're beautiful."
Yeah.
I was like, can any fucking females have a dig here? It's all just country blokes in the Kubrus.
They were way too intimidated, the women. It was just all the fucking blokes who were on 12 tons or hammer and tongs and just like, "Mate, you are fucking hot."
Just heat exhaustion and like flat half-strength beer. A belly full of that.
Yeah.
Just like, "You're fucking better looking than me."
So, testimony from on the air tonight. If you ever are feeling low on confidence,
just go to a small town.
Go to a small town and just see how fucking
even just set up your Hinge to like get a VPN and set your Hinge to fucking Chinchilla or Dolby and watch the fucking likes pile up. I haven't done it. I'm not saying I've done it, but I imagine that
sounds like a man of experience.
The dopamine hits would be fucking unreal.
Yeah, the app to delete. How about the app to feel elite?
Yeah, the app to elite myself from these Brisbane fleas.
Just the Hinge developers like, "This is not why we made the app. People in fucking country towns shouldn't be downloading it just to feel better about their looks."
That's what Tinder's for. Get off Hinge if you want that.
But yeah,
please back to it.
That's the main reason why these people like in these small country towns, basically just small towns, is I can't imagine what Chinchilla does with is it Waco? I don't know what's the prison out near there.
Yeah, probably Waco. Yeah, I know let's say Waco.
Anyway, not saying that about Chinchilla. I'm sure it's a lovely town. I'm sure you don't go seeking out ex-cons to go date, but you know what? If there's just not a lot of things in the Refidex, sometimes you gotta just find different options.
Just take what you can get.
Correct.
It's funny seeing we were out there for one night, and they talk about the underbelly of Australian drinking culture, which is like drink all day in the sun and binge. It's fun and it's fantastic and you binge and you're with family, and then the sun goes down and people just start not beating the shit out of each other. We saw that in full flight out in Chinchilla.
Really?
Well, the club hotel closed at midnight, which is, early for...
That is early.
Yeah, so everyone spills out onto the street full of liquor and rage.
And there's nowhere else to go? There's no kick-ons?
There's no kick-ons. So there's one path that goes straight from the club hotel and it links straight up with McDonald's.
Oh, there's a McDonald's in Chilla.
There's a McDonald's in Chilla and a petrol station.
That's big country town mentality if you've got a McDonald's.
Yeah, it's like, they're not fucking around.
No.
There's this path that goes literally directly from the club straight to McDonald's. So where does everyone fucking go? The security. Yeah, I'm loving it.
I love fights.
I'm loving hits. That can allude to like bashing each other or like taking drugs. One of the two. Double
Volcano Los Dos.
Yeah. The security that works at the club hotel literally walk over and start their shift at McDonald's. They just follow the crowd over. They're like, all right, now we got to protect this establishment.
Yep.
And people are just punching on out the front of it. Just like there's shit everywhere and people are just fighting each other. And we were with a local out there. Shout out Sam. And he was like, this is every Saturday night.
Yeah.
Every Saturday night, McDonald's just has 50 Chinchillians beating the shit out of each other.
If you want a Big Mac, if you want a Big Mac and a soda fries combo, you might catch a 1-2 combo on the way out.
Yeah. Can I get a number 1 with a number 2? And then you just get go,
yeah, the person running just like, you want fries with that?
The 16-year-old on the till's like, all right, Brad,
let's go, brother.
Diet.
I wonder if, weird question, but I wonder if secchies do the same thing that teachers or like pharmacists or anyone has to go do once they've done their degree. They have to go like do community outreach programs. So like teachers will go work rurally in like Townsville or like Toowoomba or whatever. Same with like pharmacists. They'll like go get a community job somewhere. Radio does it as well. Wonder if secchies do it as well, where they're just like, we need to blood ourselves like in
the worst possible environment.
Yep, where there's minimal security cameras around, so we're not going to get reprimanded on our first weekend shift.
Well, that's where you get away with shit. You go out to Chinchilla to, cut your teeth on some locals.
Yep.
You're like, this is small town consequences. I'm not getting hit with big town charges.
Yep.
I can fuck someone up. And it's probably not going to follow me back to Melbourne.
I've been watching UFC for 3 months. I'm going to practice me rear naked choke on this fucking 18-year-old.
Yeah, there's no CCTV out here. Who are they going to believe? The well-spoken guy from Melbourne or the the Chinchillian with fucking 3 teeth because I knocked the rest of them out.
Just a statue of Ronald sitting there the whole time with his thumb up. Just, I approve this message. I'm loving hits.
I'm loving hits.
Big tangent to go on. Honestly, the 2 triangles that we went over, those are probably the 2 main reasons you'd watch season 3, episode 15 of Love After Lockup. The other couples, I don't really think there's much point. We can brush over them, but I don't really think there's...
There was the Paris room proposal. We'll call it that. A nice guy. This was the one that showed some hope for the show. It was just a nice couple. One guy got the ex-con got pinged with drug possession back in the day. So he just had a couple of pingers on him and they threw him in prison for 4 years. Daniel. He was a sweet guy and he wanted to propose to his missus.
Lizzie.
She wanted to go to Paris. He couldn't afford to, so he took her to a cheesy hotel room that was Paris themed.
Yeah, had half an Eiffel Tower that was going through the roof. There was a weird fountain in the middle of the room. Yeah, but yeah, proposed to her there. That was probably the wholesome part of the episode.
That was cute. He was like a bit of a psycho and like a bit. He had that ex-con kind of cadence about him.
A little bit tweakish.
Yeah, a little bit tweakish, but you're going to get that after you've dropped the soap a couple of times in the shower. You know?
Yeah, and also if you're in for possession of narcotics, there's a double reason why you're tweaking.
Yes. But he did, that was almost entering Love on the Spectrum territory. Those two, I was like, ooh, have we stumbled onto the ABC?
Yeah, the moment he proposed, he was just, he kissed her and then his hug was, I don't even know how to describe it. Like he went to hug her and instead of like a normal person hug where you go to wrap your arms around and then either person puts their heads on opposite sides. So you form like a jigsaw puzzle piece coming together.
You tessellate.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys know what a hug is.
Yeah, have you guys been hugged?
You guys hugged before?
Come on,
cowards.
he goes and nuzzles the side of his head across her face, and as if it's
he curls up into her neck.
Yeah.
He puts his face up into her neck, and then she's kind of left to pat the back of his head, and she's like, "Oh, you're trying to hug me again," and then she does the rest of the work.
There's some deep Freudian therapy we could go in on that, but
you forget how to hug when you've been away for 4 years, when the only thing you've hugged is your
Big Mike.
Yeah, Big Mike. Yeah,
you've been hugging.
He doesn't hug back.
No,
he's been nuzzling into Big Mike's neck for 4 years. He's like, hey, "Is this how it's done?" Right?
Big Mike's just writing his fucking letters to Big Smoke on the outside.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Thomas, what would you rate Love After Lockup?
Love After Lockup. I thought it was good. I thought this was,
surprising from Channel 9.
Surprising from Channel 9. It's one of those gems you stumble across. You're like, oh, yeah, it's not just absolute garbage. It's garbage and it's trashy.
Yep.
But this is a step up from Beyond Scared Straight and a step down from Love on the Spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
Not as good as Spectrum. Better than Beyond Straight because it's got real humans.
There's a happy medium there.
Yeah. I'm going to give it 6.
Okay.
I'm going to give it 6. 6 Charlie Sheen, Bill Macy cuck outfits out of 10.
Right. Yep. Okay. I can see that. 6 out of 10 is solid.
What would you give it?
I think I'm hovering around the same. I did enjoy it. Lot of eyebrow raising moments.
Yeah, a lot of those eyebrows, Millhouse.
A lot of moments where we just said, "Hey."
It's really one of those shows. It was this. It was It's a lot of
articulate what you're doing.
It was me going.
Closing your eyelids,
cringing. Do I need it? It's cringing.
Cringing. The act of tensing up so hard that your eyelids look like they're about to fucking punch each other.
Yeah. You've seen South Park episodes when their eyes just turn into a cross.
Yeah.
Into one big X.
Hey, fuck you, cat.
Yeah, you know what cringing is. Mm-hmm. So it's half that, and then the other half is your eyebrows raising so high above your head that your fucking hairline starts growing back.
Yeah, making the Tim Allen noise from Home Improvement.
Yeah, or a dog just being confused.
So yeah, I would give Love After Lockdown, or Love After Lockup, 6.5 shitty prison tattoos out of 10 because if you're in life for one thing and that one thing is seeing horrible tattoos, either watch the UFC or watch this show because there's some shocking ones.
There are some bad tats.
Mm-hmm.
We saw everything.
Yeah.
We saw chin straps. We saw chin strap tattoos with words though. Like not when you go and tattoo your eyebrows on to make it look like you have hair there. Not like that for your chin.
No.
Just like family and love under your chin. It's
Actual
like,
calligraphy on your jaws because you can't grow actual facial hair on your cheeks.
yeah, some garbage shit. But hey, that's prison.
Yes, absolutely.
That's prison.
That is prison. So if you have, I mean, as if we don't. Look at us.
Sometimes that's prison, and you just got to roll with the punches. Okay. All right.
They sometimes say don't be like it is, but it do.
It do be like that.
It do be like
Sometimes
that.
it do be like that.
If you
and that's the tattoo across everyone's chin strap.
Tom
Be like that.
Tom's hiding his chin strap tattoo.
Why do you think
with
I've had a beard for 13 years?
with a Dolby Calvin Klein trim tattoo.
Red hot.
If you have made it this far on this episode of On the Air Tonight, thank you so much. Give us a like on YouTube, subscribe to our channel so you never miss an episode. Give us a suggestion or a review if you have a show that you do want us to watch next time.
If there's nothing that we won't watch, that's not true. There's some things that we won't watch.
If we have to pay for it, you can go fuck yourself.
But there's no bad suggestions.
No.
Not so. There have been, this was a suggestion, and last week was a suggestion. Therein lies the power of the OTAD army. If you've been thinking of suggesting something to us and going, the boys will never watch it, I'm just another person on the conveyor belt of people who want to tell them what to watch. It's not true because the last two people who suggested things, they've been watched.
Yes, we've gotten 2 referrals and we've gotten them both checked out both times.
2 out of 2. The power is in your hands, OTAD army.
We will see you next time.
Bye-bye.